Thank you, Can Corla. And I too want to thank Sinn Féin for bringing forward this motion on childcare. I think all of us will agree that for far too long, childcare and indeed care in general was seen as women's work. Work that was carried on behind closed doors, necessary, but not really having that much value. Now, that has been changing over the last number of years, but that context shaped how we supported, how we recognised, how we financed the provision of childcare and how we ensured access to childcare facilities for parents. Our record in the provision of childcare is dismal compared to our European partners. If we look, for example, at salaries paid to early years educators in the EU, we see that in Germany it's about €18 per hour, in France it's about 20, in the Netherlands it's 26, and here it's between 12, €13. Now, Minister, I've already asked you before, just about 2 weeks ago on a topical issue, for an extra allocation of 150 million in this year's budget. 75 million in order to help ensure that those working in the childcare sector can earn the living wage. We're not here talking about bringing them up, moving them up the European scale. What we're asking is that you lift them from the bottom of the pile. Minister, we know that 40% of those in this sector are looking for work elsewhere. They're being poached into other sectors after all that training in order to provide quality childcare. We are losing committed and dedicated workers. Workers, the vast majority of whom love their jobs, look forward to their work, and really it's a vocation for most of them. And the crazy thing on top of all of that is that Irish parents pay the highest fees in the EU, approximately €180 per week, way above countries like Sweden and Denmark and France. And in that context, Minister, and again, I've asked you this before, there is a need for a further 75 million investment in this year's budget in order to ensure that parents can afford to access high-quality childcare. To be honest, I prefer to use the term early years education rather than childcare, and the term early years educators instead of childcare workers. And my reason for this, again, is context. And while we have moved on, there are still too many people who view care as a secondary matter. It doesn't appear when we're calculating our balance of payments. It doesn't feature when we assess our GDP, but yet it's central to how we organise our society. So while we are thinking that we have moved on, and to some extent we still have such a long way to go. And the truth is that the value we place on childcare is reflected in the value we place on those who work in the sector. Too many people, as I said, think of childcare as minding children. Of course, children need to be looked after, but early years education is so much more. It provides high-quality, play-based early years learning. It supports families to manage work-life balance, and it provides positive transition to primary education. You know that yourself. But our childcare system can do none of that because it's not properly resourced. And not alone is our system not properly resourced, it's poorly resourced. It's the poor relation. Childcare providers are at the end of their tether, many of them holding on by their fingernails, knowing that another year like the last one will sink them. Many of them don't know in 6-9 months' time will they be here. Equally for those who work in the sector, and 98% of them are women, and that's the most telling thing. They are among the lowest paid in the country. So we can't expect them to continue to work for a salary that's below the living wage. So, Minister, can I say the childcare sector are looking to next week's budget for a serious indication from this government that over 1 year into your term, you are serious about supporting this sector.
Thank you, Deputy Harkin.